which is a garage of my home where everything else suffers, actually, because my actual road car gets left outside and the race car takes pride of place in the workshop. And we have our racks of tyres. We have to have everything reasonably well set up because of the confined space that we're working in, because things can tend to get pretty cluttered at times. But with the operation we had, straight after Sandown, my mechanic, Roy McDonald, and myself, we jumped in the truck and we drove straight back from Sandown after the race and drove straight through to Brisbane here, where we continued to pull the car to pieces and get it ready for the James Hardy 1000 this weekend. Well, winning the James Hardy 1000 to me virtually means everything, because when I start and do something, I don't normally like to stop until such time as I've achieved what I've originally set out to do. And one of the things that I intended doing is winning the James Hardy 1000, not once, not twice, but I want to win it 6 times, because Brock's won it 5 times, and I just want to be better than anyone else.
Prophetic words from Dick Johnson. There you had an opportunity to see how Dick Johnson puts his racing operation into work. We also have the race continuing, a lot of pit activity, cars coming in and out, no one of significance that would affect the first 3 or 4 cars. There he is, True Blue. Down through the gears, coming back onto pit straight again. And I think we could have a pit stop on the cards for Dick Johnson. We might time that. Comes into the pit area.
Starting the clock now.
Okay, there'll be a driver change here. John French of Queensland takes over the running of the car for the second part. Doing it very orderly. They can afford to take a little extra time. At this stage, they hold quite the wood.
90 seconds when he went to the pits ahead of Gary Rogers, and a further 38 seconds call over Bob Morris.
Well, we'll spot for you whether Rogers can take over the lead while Johnson is in fact in the pits.
Well, the driver change has been completed. Another churn of fuel. Coming up 50 seconds. Consultation with the pit boss. Oh, look at that activity down pit road.
That's number 35, I think, that's causing all the problem down there.
That's the Alexander Mazda Rotary. There's KB. Bob Forbes, I would suggest, is at the wheel.
Okay, still looking for the Rogers car to go past the pit area.
It hasn't done so yet. We're up to 1:20 in the pits for Dick Johnson. Rogers, I would think, is going to come into view very shortly.
This is an extraordinarily long pit stop. Johnson shouting instructions to the crew. They've still got it jacked up.
Still no sign of Rogers. 1:45. There's Rogers.
Okay, Gary Rogers, number 11, now goes through to take over the lead. Okay, down to Evan Green.
A really long stop here, a man under the car. Dick Johnson getting very agitated with the amounts of time going. The instructions to John French to start the motor up. They're out, they've changed. Oh, no, not ready yet. They've got one oil filler still to clap up. Now it's done. And I'm very worried, Dick Johnson. That was a long pit stop. And a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of John French now. An old hand, though. He knows what it's all about. You can see the spill oil there. Mainly from added oil. I don't know if it's an oil leak or the fact they just overfilled the car. We'll try and find that out. But that was a slow stop for Dick Johnson. I'll go over to the pit area if I can and see if I can have a word with him. He's very up there, throwing his gloves around. So let's just watch the scene here. I won't speak to him for a while. He's talking to his pit crew. You can see just in here, Dick Johnson, very agitated. He talks to the man about the time spent. He said, why were you doing that? There was no need to get that done. The man's under the car trying to pick something. They were giving warnings to John French that he's got new brakes. And it's a fairly heated discussion. Both so enthusiastic to try and win the race. An enormous amount of tension here. And Dick Johnson, whose very life is wrapped up with success in the Bathurst race. terribly concerned the amount of time that they lost in the pits. He will still hold the lead, but it's touch and go at Bathurst. The old saying still applies. You don't win them on the track, but you lose them in the pits. Dick Johnson, hair wet with perspiration. We'll bring him over to the camera now. Dick, that was a long spell at the wheel and a long spell in the pits.
Mate, that was stupid. You know, they should have just kept going. There was nothing wrong with the thing. It's only an oil leak when you stop the engine, because it's just got, on the inlet side of the oil pump, it leaks, but when it's sucking, it doesn't leak a drop. They buggerised around here and tried to fix it. Well, you know, that's just a waste of time. The rest of the car is absolutely magnificent.
Put new brake pads in?
No way. They're brand new.
What did you tell John French before he went out? Any special instructions?
I just said, look, we're only using 6.5. You can do it on your ear. I use third gear up through the cutting, the whole deal, and it's just really great.
You're in front. You'd still be in front after that stop.
I sincerely hope so.
When will you believe you've got this race won?
When we finish across the line, when that flag goes down, not before.
And until then?
Until then, who knows?
How's it feel to be in the lead when it means so much to you, Nick?
Well, we're doing it very easy, and I'm sure that French is just real easy on the car, which he always is. There'll be absolutely no problems at all. None whatsoever.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a touch of wishful thinking there from Dick Johnson, because that pit stop was 2 minutes and 20 seconds and 2 cars went through while he was in there. Gary Rogers, first of all, he's now the race leader and picking up the first of his Coca-Cola bottles lap money. Bob Morris also went through and is in second spot ahead of John French now at the wheel of car 17, the True Blue Falcon.